In our last episode, we met with Tim Cross, owner of Merrick Construction, and took a walk through an almost completed home in Fairhaven, New Jersey. Today we'll head back to the finished project and see how everything turned out. This episode is sponsored by Burns-O-Matic because every homeowner needs a torch. Find your fire at burns-o-matic.com. And Technor Apex, maker of the Zero-G hose, the hose that takes the work out of yard work. We're back in Fairhaven, New Jersey with Tim Cross of Merrick Construction. I can see the house is finished. It looks beautiful.
Thanks, John.
Can we maybe take a look outside and then go inside?
Sure, sounds good.
All right,
Great
good
to see you.
Yeah,
same here.
Is this AZEK?
This is all AZEK. That's correct.
And you paint it?
We painted, yeah. We fill the holes and painted, especially this because I did a different color than white to try and go along with the siding.
I like AZEK painted. I think it just, even if you're keeping it white, I think it looks a little unfinished when the plugs just go in.
Yes, that's what we found was when you filled the nail holes, the dirt was sticking to the nail holes and you would see all the nail holes on the trim if it wasn't painted. But by painting it, you paint over the nail holes and now everything is smooth so the dirt doesn't just stick to that. So it's just a more professional job.
Absolutely. And I like this cove detail. Did you do this with a router on the job?
We did, yep. Yeah, my guys designed it and my guys made it on site.
Fantastic. And you got the door in. Last time we were here, the door wasn't in.
Yes. Nice 2 1/4 inch thick solid mahogany door, 8 foot tall. And yeah, it has a really good feel to it when you come in. It's a nice heavy door. Inside, foyer, wanted to make it a little bit different, and I think you guys saw a little bit of this on the earlier version when we did this, but I just had 2x4s on the ceiling, and then we wrapped them with the oak and put a little bead routed into the edge of all of the oak beams here on the ceiling. Again, to kind of give it a little bit of something different than what you would see in most homes. And then dining room, I think you might have saw some of this and some different paint colors. I originally was going to paint this like a grayish color, but in the end I sort of chickened out and decided that I was going to go more neutral and keep it a little simpler and just go with Chantilly lace, which is this white color that you see. Again, carried that same detail in the ceiling with a little routed edge going around that coffer that we put. It's not everybody notices it, but it's a nice little.
It's a slight cove.
Correct.
Just a slight cove.
That's correct.
And the Chantilly lace, is that a Benjamin Moore color?
It is a Benjamin Moore color. Yes. Yep.
I really like the casing. What's the proper name for this style?
So this is something actually I pulled out of a house that was built up in Monmouth Hills. It was built in the early 1900s, and I love the casing, so I had knives made for it, and we call it the Merrick casing because it's one of my casings that I put in most of the houses I do.
And it's all one piece?
It's all one piece, that's correct. Whereas it has the look of having a backband molding, which is what this is.
Sure.
Which typically goes on as 2 pieces, so this would go on as 1 piece and then the backband goes over it. The advantage of this being 1 piece is you save a step. So you're not installing the 2 moldings on the door, on every single door and window in the entire house. You're able to do it in 1 step.
It's got a really nice look to it. Very classy. I like that.
Yeah, very classy.
Nice step down, this little cove here.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. Who did this? Was this Monteith? I know they make molding.
That's correct. Yeah, we got all of our casing. It's all in poplar and it all comes from Monteith.
Monteith is great.
Steve.
Buzzy's a good friend. Oh, Steve's great too.
Yeah,
but I'm good friends with Buzzy. I see him all the time.
Oh, you do? Yeah, they're great. They're always good for us. If I need something quickly, all the crown molding is also from Monteith too. This is the butler's pantry, and here went a little bit bolder. Did an antique mirror for the backsplash. This is white Carrera, and little wine cooler, and then a brush brass handles on everything.
This hammered texture on the sink is really nice.
Yeah, that gives it a different look than just a plain sink, whether it's be white or stainless steel.
Sure.
And then we had the cabinet company send us the same color paint to do the casing and the base molding in here to match the cabinets. Here's the kitchen, the heart of the house where everybody seems to congregate. And I went with a classic white kitchen, but tried to, bring in a little bit of warmth with the brushed brass grills that I got from Europe, actually.
Beautiful.
You give them, you custom size them, they cut them, and in about 2 weeks I get them sent over, and they're real easy to install. And that kind of tied in with the light fixtures, and then with the brass on the sink, on the faucet.
And on the hardware here too.
Yeah, same with the hardware. In this case, this is where the stools go for the counter, but we did put some 12-inch deep cabinetry. All of this is usable with the idea
That's great.
Yeah, just a lot of extra storage for
Fantastic.
kind of seasonal things that you may not need to get to every day, but it's nice to have the extra space.
And that quarter sawn oak really pops on these doors. Wow.
Yeah, it really looks nice. It's the oak, I think, is a kind of a classic. I don't think it's something, when it's natural like this with the wax, I don't think it's something that goes out of style.
I agree with you.
And then all the tile work I got from Nemo Tile, which is in Red Bank, and they were great to work with. That's where we put the tile in behind the stove, the kind of feature tile, and then ran the tile up and all the way around the hood, which I think gives it a really nice
Absolutely,
look.
it looks great.
Yeah. The countertops are, this is actually black absolute, and it is, what makes it look different than the typical black absolute, which used to be generally always polished and shiny. This is what's called leatherized. So they texturize the top of the granite, and it gives it a completely different look. So if you've seen black absolute, some people would say that they would not believe that this is black absolute, but it's just because of the texturizing that they do to the surface that makes it look completely different.
Yeah, I like this. It looks like it would wear really well too, and not show any.
That's correct, right. The rings that you typically would get,
Sure.
You're not going to see that in this, or it may not even take it as much because the polish, you see them, they blare out.
Everything is magnified with the polish.
Exactly.
I'm assuming that's the refrigerator behind those doors.
That's correct, yes.
That's really nice.
Yep. Refrigerator's built in there.
Oh, that is nice. Wow.
Yeah, it's a nice feature.
Sure is.
Makes the appliance kind of disappear and look more obviously like cabinetry.
I love this wax finish too.
Yeah, the wax finish is a really subtle, natural finish to it. It doesn't have a shine, but it protects the oak. The floors are all select oak, but this is all done in rift and quarter sawn. And you're right, there's some more quarter sawn in it. And then we designed for the pantry. This actually was still a couple of details that aren't finished yet, but here I'm going to put a ribbed glass insert into these frames, which will still allow light into the pantry, but block it as a visual, so you don't have to worry about keeping it perfect, because who keeps their pantry in perfect condition?
For sure.
But,
For sure.
Yeah. Big island, and wanted to make it feel like it was substantial, so we used just a plain white quartz, and then built it up on the edges, mitered edges, to make it be 2.5 inches thick, which really gives it a real nice feel and look to it.
They did a great job too, because I can't see any kind of seam.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job. The quartz is a product that they can do a really good job of blending seams together, and this mitering job, although it adds a fair amount of cost, is well worth it, because rather than the standard 1.25 inch thick. This space here, originally I actually had designed a door on this going into the mudroom, but when I changed the size of the pantry a little bit, I felt that it really wasn't necessary to have a door here, but I did feel that it was necessary to make this visual look really clean rather than just looking into a mudroom where it's a mess. So I wanted to make this basically an upgraded view, you know, something. So I did the herringbone tile, again the quartz top, and then some nice cabinetry and a couple other details in here.
I like these floating shelves.
Yeah, this is
very clean.
This is something that again, that kind of transitional trend is to not have like big brackets holding things up, but have it be very clean looking and simple. We just used threaded rods actually that go into the studs. We cut the heads, we screwed them into the studs, cut the heads off them, drilled into the back of the shelf, and then epoxied the shelf over the top of it, and that gives it the stability.
Nice, yeah, it definitely is very rigid. It's nice, very nice.
Yeah. And then we did, this would be washer and dryer will end up going here, and then we did some cubbies. I'm still waiting on the hooks. They should be in the next week or so.
This is great to have for the kids. They come home, they put their
they can hang
coats
their
there, their book bags.
Yeah,
They got a place to
underneath.
sit down and put their shoes on. This is a nice walnut seat.
Yep. Yeah, we do a lot of the walnut for the mudroom benches for some reason. Obviously, it's a beautiful wood, and it always adds a little bit to it, warms it up a little bit rather than just paint. So this family room ties into the kitchen, just one kind of big room, which is where everybody seems to spend all their time. And again, with the feel of the transitional, not exactly traditional, not super modern, that kind of mix, we did the white oak again. This is all quarter sawn white oak, and I just put this on the bookshelves with a kind of clean detail. Once obviously books get in there, it's going to soften it up a little bit.
Sure, it'll add some color.
It'll add some color to it and some depth, exactly. And then I did the same thing, kind of similar to what we have in the kitchen, a modern groove above the fireplace. And we actually did put in cable and electric for behind there in case someone wants to mount a TV there. And then we also have another location for the TV, so either location they can put it wherever they decide.
And you can control the house with the Nest, with your phone?
Yeah, so the Nest thermostat, again, something we're using in all of our homes, and it is great because you can be on vacation, coming home, you want to cool the house down, you could be at the airport, turn it down to whatever setting you want, and by the time you get home, your house is, at the temperature that you'd like it to be. Yeah, and it's the Nest thermostat does even more. It's a learning thermostat. It notices when you come in the house, you'll see it turn on and shut off based on motion, and it actually starts to learn what temperatures you like it at, and will start to adjust if you have a set pattern. So if you're up at 6 a.m., you come down, it sees you. It notices that every day, and it'll start to adjust the temperature earlier and earlier to get it to be your desired temperature at that time.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yep.
I gotta say, I love this paint. Do you know what this is?
So this is a Benjamin Moore paint. This is an oil product that my painter mixes in another product to it, which I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe like a penetrol or something like that?
I believe so, yeah. Something to make it level out and just be super smooth, and he did a fantastic job with this. It came out really nice.
Beautiful.
This is the master suite, and it's a nice size. I bumped up the ceiling a little bit here to give it even a little bit more height. The lower ceiling is at 9 feet, and then the upper ceiling is at about 10 foot 2. Did a little bit of that transitional coffered on the ceiling here to give it a little bit of detail, and kept it painted the same color as just a classic white, just to make it kind of blend in and not be too in your face.
I see you've got another custom vent here, or vent cover?
Yeah, so for the master suite and the whole first floor, I do these custom grill covers for the HVAC, just because you spend a lot of time in those areas, and I want it to be a little bit dressed up and a little bit nicer than, again, the standard grills.
Beautiful. Now, we didn't see the bathroom last time we were here because the tile was working.
Yeah.
I just peeked in there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the bathroom, I love this master bathroom. I had fun designing this and did the herringbone pattern on the floor with the natural stone. And this also came from Nemo tile. And we put a heating system in the floor also, which in the winter is the best. Once you have it, you will never go back to not heating your bathroom floor.
Oh, it's got to be nice getting out of this tub onto a heated floor.
Yeah, that morning when you have it on a timer, so it'll turn on at 6 a.m. and you can have it run until whatever time you want, 9, 10 a.m. and then turn on again at night. But that warm feeling when you walk in here on a cold winter's day, man, it's nice.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, well, definitely a beautiful home, and I thought a lot of great design ideas that you could apply to your own home, whether you're renovating a room or building a home. Just a great insight on materials and finishes, and whenever I go on one of these house tours, I learn a lot, especially with Tim, because Tim's been building houses for a long time. He's just got he has a wealth of knowledge with building materials, and I think a really good design aesthetic. I'm hoping to work with Tim a little earlier next time, maybe even from the foundation up, and get 4 or 5 episodes out of a project. If you want to know more about this home, I'll have a link to the listing in the description. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.